Welcome back to our exploration of Bryan Johnson's extreme longevity quest. In parts 1 and 2, we examined his methodical scientific approach, experiments like plasma exchange and gene therapy, and his algorithm for potentially achieving immortality. I originally planned this as a 3-part series, but as I continued researching Johnson's work, I realized there was simply too much fascinating material to cover properly in just 3 videos. So I've expanded this to a 4-part series to ensure each aspect gets the attention it deserves. Today in part 3, we will tackle 2 critical questions. Is it even worth it not to die? And why doesn't Johnson just do proper science with clinical trials? Then we will dive into his detailed daily protocol, examining his precise meals, supplement regime, and lifestyle practices. Most importantly, we will extract practical lessons that might actually benefit regular people without requiring extreme measures. Next week, our final installment will examine Johnson's blueprint business model and marketing approach. Let's dive in. Is it even worth it not to die? This question often arises in discussions about longevity. What would become of society if death were no longer an inevitable end? Critics ask, what will happen to future generations if we stop dying? Yet, as Bryan emphasizes in his don't die principle, our primary goal isn't to chase immortality for its own sake, it's to extend our lives long enough to witness and shape the future despite the unknown ahead. According to Bryan, we simply do not have a crystal ball. The long-term consequences of radically extended lifespans are as uncertain as they were for our ancestors when they first encountered revolutionary changes in technology and society. Thousands of years ago, people navigated life with a vastly different set of challenges and resources. Today, we are faced with modern threats like pandemics, pollution, and environmental degradation. These are immediate dangers that can end our lives prematurely before we have the chance to experience and influence the next wave of human progress. In Bryan's view, the don't die principle serves as a practical filter for every decision, ensuring that, above all else, we remain alive to see what the future holds. Why doesn't he just do proper science? A lot of scientists criticize Bryan's approach. They say this isn't real science because typically, to prove something works, you need at least thousands of people in your study all getting the exact same treatment, a control group who doesn't get the treatment, double-blind testing where neither the doctors nor patients know who is getting what. But here's what's fascinating. Bryan's response to this makes total sense. He says, look, I am not trying to prove anything to the scientific community. I want to live forever and I want to start now. Think about it. Clinical trials take 5 to 10 years. They cost hundreds of millions of dollars. You need tons of approvals and paperwork, and at the end, you might find out it doesn't even work. Bryan's taking a total different approach. He is saying instead of waiting years to maybe find something that works for everyone, I'm going to test things directly on myself with extreme monitoring. It's like he's running the world's most sophisticated N is equal to 1 experiment. Is he taking more risks than a clinical trial? Absolutely. But he is also testing things way faster, getting immediate personal results, catching problems early with constant monitoring, taking just enough risk to potentially see benefits, but no so much risk that it could kill him. Could he sponsor clinical trials to help everyone? Sure, and that would definitely help science more. But remember, his goal isn't to advance science, his goal is to not die, and for that specific goal, his approach, while not scientifically rigorous, is actually pretty logical. It's like he is saying, I'd rather be alive and unproven right than dead and scientifically validated. Now you might be wondering, what exactly does this immortality-seeking lifestyle look like day to day? Bryan has been incredibly transparent about his entire protocol, sharing everything from his precise meal timing to his supplement stack, making it clear which parts are based on his personal biomarker testing and which could be beneficial for most people. Let's break down what this actually looks like. Bryan starts his day super early with what's basically a nutrition-packed cocktail. At 5:25 a.m., he drinks an 8-ounce mixture that contains his Blueprint Longevity Mix, which is basically a custom supplement blend containing dozens of vitamins and compounds. He has also mentioned its ingredients on his website. Also, he takes collagen protein 11 grams for skin, joint and tissue health, keratin 5 grams total for muscle function and energy, prebiotics including inulin and galactosaccharides to feed his gut bacteria. This isn't your average morning coffee. It's specifically designed to hit multiple longevity pathways right at the start of the day. For actual breakfast, Bryan has his famous nutty pudding at around 6:45 a.m. while he sells pre-packaged version Blueprint Longevity Protein and Blackberry Nut Mix. Here's what's actually in the carefully formulated mixture: macadamia nuts, walnuts, and ground flaxseed as the base, exactly 3 Brazil nuts for precise selenium intake, cocoa powder, and blueberries, either fresh or frozen, macadamia nut milk to blend it all together, with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Then comes the first round of supplements, and this is where it gets wild. Bryan takes over 10 different supplements with breakfast, including multiple vitamin and mineral blends, EPA, DHA, fish, all for omega-3s, garlic supplements for cardio benefits, NAC, cysteine with anti-inflammatory compounds, and even prescription medications like metformin and acarbose, which are diabetes medications being studied for longevity. At 9 a.m., Bryan has what he calls his super veggie meal, which is basically a nutrition-dense vegetable ball containing black lentils, precisely 45 grams dry, which equals about 150 grams cooked, broccoli exactly 250 grams, and he includes the stalks, cauliflower 150 grams, garlic 1 clove a piece, ginger root 3 grams, cumin 1 tablespoon, hemp seed 1 tablespoon, apple cider vinegar 1 tablespoon. After preparation, drizzle 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 1 to 4 tablespoons of fermented foods, example cabbage, kimchi, beets, etc. Bryan's last meal of the day is at 11 a.m. Yes, he finishes eating before noon. This meal varies, but typically includes some combination of vegetables, nuts, seeds, and berries. One example is his stuffed sweet potato meal. Sweet potato exactly 300 grams cooked, chickpeas 45 grams cooked, precisely counted grape tomatoes 12, half an avocado, 4 radishes, fresh herbs, peppers, and spices. Of course, another tablespoon of olive oil. With this final meal, he takes another round of supplements similar to his morning pills, like EPA, DHA, DPA 800 mg, garlic 1.2 gram, NAC 1800 mg, metformin 500 mg, proferin 10.5 mg. Important guidelines: 0 alcohol, no snacking between meals, stops eating 3 hours before bed, all meals are taken within 6-hour window, time restricted feeding, 70% of calories from fat, 20% from protein, 10% from carbs, total daily calories approximately 2000, exercise before breakfast for optimal metabolic benefits. Key takeaways: first, Bryan's complete transparency means we know exactly what he takes and why. Second, he strongly emphasizes not copying his full supplement protocol. Third, many supplements in his routine are based on his personal blood work. 4. The basic diet framework can be followed by most people. 5. Always get blood work before starting any supplement routine. The last, number 6, his products, Blueprint, offer convenience but aren't necessary. He shares all recipes. So what can regular people actually learn from this? Let's break this down into stuff that actually makes sense for normal people and things that are probably a bit too, well, Bryan Johnson. Look, we can't all and shouldn't all spend millions on experimental treatments or take 100+ supplements a day, but buried in all this extreme biohacking are some really valuable lessons anyone can use. The stuff that makes sense: eating healthy food, getting good sleep, exercising regularly, getting tested to see what vitamins you actually need, the stuff that's too much, those $1 million gene therapies, all those experimental treatments, taking hundreds of supplements without testing. Thank you for watching part 3 of our now 4-part exploration of Bryan Johnson's longevity experiments. We have examined the philosophical questions around extending lifespan, why Johnson's n is equal to 1 approach makes logical sense for his personal goals, and broken down his meticulous daily protocol. While most of us won't adapt all of Johnson's extreme measures, they are valuable takeaways about nutrition, sleep, exercise, and biological testing that nearly anyone can apply to improve their health and potentially extend their lifespan. In part 4, coming next week, I will reveal how Johnson transformed these experiments into Blueprint, his uniquely transparent business model. We will examine whether his claims about operating at break-even margins stand up to scrutiny and analyze the marketing brilliance behind this approach. If you found this information valuable, please hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Have questions about Johnson's protocol or approach? Drop them in the comments below, and I will see you in the final installment of the journey where we separate the marketing from the mission in Johnson's quest for immortality.